if you wanted me to draw a circle, what facts would you have to give me? Well, you'd have to tell me where it was going to be located. So you might say the center is going to be at -3, 4, and so I'd draw that in. And so we'd need to know what the center is. So -3, 4, and we'd need to know what the radius was. So you might tell me that the radius was, let's see, we'll make it 3. So the radius is 3. So then from the center, I'd have to go out 3 every direction. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I could draw the circle that you had in mind. Is this circle a function? No, because if you did the vertical line test, it would cross it in 2 different places. So for each x, there might be 2 y's. So the answer to that is no. Now, if you wanted to have something that looked like a circle be a function, as we will in our function project, then you can restrict it to be either the top half or the bottom half of the circle, but you can't draw a full circle as a function. So the equation of a circle with a center of h and k with the radius of r would be this. So x minus h, so this is my x, squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And if the center had a radius, if the circle had a center of 0, 0, then my h and k would be 0, and I'd end up with x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. All right, so let's graph. That was all review. If I wanted to graph a circle, so here is a circle in that standard form here. When I'm looking at this, I had x minus 5, so my center must be a positive 5. And then my y doesn't have anything subtracted, so that's going to be a 0, so y minus 0. So my center's 5, 0, and my radius is going to be the square root of 1, which is 1. So if I wanted to draw that, I would go to 5, 0 right here. I'd have a radius of 1 each direction, and I'd draw my circle right there. Part B, let's see. This one, x plus 2, so that means it was x minus a -2, and y minus 3, so that means 3 for my y value. The radius then is going to be the square root of 20, and the square root of 20 is in between 16, square root of 16, and the square root of 25. So let's just say, so square root of 16 is 4, square root of 25 is 5. So let's just call this, we'll just estimate it at 4.5. You could put that in your calculator and figure it as well. So at the point -2, 3 for my center, and then my radius is about 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, just here. 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, right about here. So we have to estimate that radius just a little bit. Now, what I want you to do is pause the video, and I want you to give this a try. And I will show you how to do it in just a minute, but just make sure and check out and make sure that you know what you're doing. All right, and then you should end up with this. The center's -3, 2, and the radius also is 2, and there's the graph of it there. All right, so now to change a polynomial equation for a circle into standard form, you're going to move the constant to the right of the equal sign, group your x terms, y terms on the left side, and then complete the square. Sure you remember how to complete the square. You take half of the x term coefficient and then square that and add it to both sides. So, and then complete the square for the y term as well. So here I have an equation. I know that it's a circle because I have an x squared and a y squared, and the coefficients are the same. So I'm going to move my 20 over here on this side of the equal sign. So it's minus 20. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides, so it's going to be positive. Then I'm going to have x squared minus 4x. I'm going to leave a little space there. And then I'm going to put plus y squared plus 2y, and again a little space here. And then I'm going to complete the square. So I'm going to take half of the 4, which is 2, square it, get 4, and I'm going to add it to both sides. So I'll put a plus 4 right there. And then for my 2y, half of 2 is 1, square it, and you're going to add 1 to both sides. So then I'm going to rewrite my trinomials there as squares. So that's going to give me x. Remember, you use the sign here in front of the 4, minus, and then square root of 4 is 2 squared. So that would factor into x minus 2 times x minus 2. Then there's this plus right here, which is going to go right here. And then I'm going to rewrite the y's as y, and then because this is a plus right here, plus 1 squared. And then it's equal to 20 plus 4 plus 1 is 25. So that means that my center from here is going to be 2, negative 1, minus a minus. And then my radius is going to be the square root of 25, which is 5. So when I go to graph it, 2, negative 1 with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 radius, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I will sketch that in there for that. So on this next page, I have a you try. So you try this one. And again, pause this video and then check back to see what's happening here. So you moved your 6 over, so minus 6, then plus 6 on the other side. You group your x squared and your 6x, leaving a blank. Group your y squared and your minus 2y, leaving a blank. So then you take half of 6, 3, square it, added it, plus 9, half of 2 is 1, square it, 1, and you add that 9 and 1 to both sides. So I have this right here. So then I rewrite my x's as x plus 3 squared, and my y's as y minus 1 squared, and add it up and get 16. And I end up with this. All right, 3, write the equation of the circle shown. It's centered at 0, negative 3. Oh, so write the equation of the circle shown. The one that's centered at 0, negative 3 with a radius of 2. So that means I'm going to have x minus 0 squared plus y minus a minus. That gives me plus 3 squared equals 3 radical 2 squared. So that would be x squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 9 times 2 is 18. Then for this one, B, you'll have to work a little bit. It's hard to see my center here, so let me figure that out. So the center appears to be at negative 2, 2, and the radius is 5. So the equation then would be x minus a minus, so x plus 2 squared plus, don't forget that plus sign, y minus 2 squared is equal to 5 squared, which is 25. All right, so then I'm going to let you try C. So again, pause the video and see what you come up with for this one. All right, so if I counted right, it appears that the center is 6, negative 4. The radius is 3, and the equation then would be x minus 6 squared plus y plus 4 squared is 9. All right, find the equation of a circle with a center 4, negative 7 that passes through the point 2, 1. So this one, when we go to write our equation, we would have that, we'd get x minus 4, because here's our center, here's our h, and k right there. So I have x minus 4 squared plus y minus k, not k, but y plus 7 squared is equal to, and then I want to write r squared, but there's not one. I don't have any idea what the radius is. I could put it on a graph and count it, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it algebraically. All right, so now what I'm going to do is for my x and y, I'm going to use this x and y because those are points on my circle. So if this is an equation here for a circle, then any point that I plug in is going to make this true. So I'm going to plug the 2 in for the x and the 1 in for the y. So now I've got 2 minus 4 squared plus 1 plus 7 squared is equal to r squared. So that's negative 2 squared, 8 squared is r squared. So then that's going to be 4 plus 64 is equal to r squared. And that 68 is equal to r squared. So notice this asks for the equation of the circle. So we've got that started here with x minus 4 squared plus y plus 7 squared. And we want to know what r squared is, and r squared is 68. So we'll just need to put a 68 here, and that's going to go in that blank. So write the equation of the line tangent to the circle given by x squared plus y squared is 169. So a circle, x squared plus y squared, has a center of 0, 0, and a radius of 13, which I've sketched. And we want to do that at the point negative 12, 5. So that's going to be a point on the circle. So at negative 12, 5 might be somewhere right here. So we have that look. So recall that to write the equation of a line, you fill in your formula y minus your y value is equal to the slope times x minus your x value. So no squares on these. So my equation of a line looks something like this. So I need to know what my point is, which is negative 12, 5. So it's going to be y minus 5 is equal to x minus a minus 12. So I have this. So the only thing I have left to determine is the slope. So if I want an equation of a line through this point, I have that. And I still need to have the slope. So remember that a line that is tangent to a circle is perpendicular to the radius. So I've drawn a radius right there, and it's perpendicular to it. So it's going to form a right angle. So perpendicular. So I need to know, I could probably figure out the slope of my radius. So the slope of the radius then, I have the 2 points. I have the point negative 12, 5, and then the center, of course, is 0, 0. So the slope of my radius is going to be 5 minus 0 over negative 12 minus 0. So 5 over negative 12. So a negative 5/12. And a line that's perpendicular to it, recall, is its negative reciprocal. So since this is negative, my perpendicular is going to be positive, and it's the reciprocal. So 12/5 for the slope of the tangent line. So the equation then would be y minus 5 is equal to 12/5 times x plus 12. And kind of add in here, this is the slope of the radius, and this is going to be a perpendicular slope right here, and that's going to be to the tangent line. So I'll put that in here too, tangent line. All right.